Whoa, 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 what? Why am I reviewing this so early on a Wednesday morning? Like, what the fuck? Is this Thursday? Like, did I have a time skip? Like, what the fuck? Because I wake up on a Wednesday morning to do my Gintama review. I go to editing it. I'm editing the video, and, I'm about to be done. I decide to go read some more Gray Man. I go to the site, and I see One Piece and Bleach and Toriko translated. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what? So, chapters early this week. I like this. Back to the old schedule we used to have many months ago. So, anyways, let's talk about this week's chapter of One Piece. So, this chapter, it clarifies what happened to Sabo, where he was, what he was doing, why he never contacted Luffy. This chapter goes to clarify that, and I personally think it's very fitting, and it's a perfect time for this type of event, because it's questions we all wanted answered, and it explains quite a bit of what really happened in the past. We come to find out that Sabo got amnesia. In the aftermath of, his ship going down and him experiencing a fire and then Dragon saving him, he lost all his memories. And his memories did not return until he saw the newspaper after the Whitebeard War. For instance, after he saw Ace's death and Whitebeard's death appear on the news, and he was looking at the paper, and when he sees Ace on the paper, he then instantly remembered what was going down, and he remembered his brothers. And it explains so much, because this is why he never tried to find Luffy. Why he never tried to find him and figure out where he was. Like, why he never answered. This finally explains so much. And it's very tragic. It's a very tragic way to look at this. Because Sabo, you realize how he must feel in his situation. How he forgot everything. And then he remembers at the one moment when it's already too late. Just imagine that real quick. I mean, just imagine how he must feel about that. Like, it's like this. Let's say you lost all your memories, and then all of a sudden, you realize that, you're split away from your family, your parents die in, like, some cruel war or whatever, and you call them like, oh, that's just a nameless person I don't care about, and then eventually when you see the news pop up and you look at their pictures and stuff, you're like, oh my god, they're my parents. Just imagine what type of heartbreak you would feel. Like, think about that. Like, just coming to realization of, you wish you could have done something, but you had to lose your memory. And this goes to show you the standpoint of what Sabo is in, and even though it's a very cliche matter to be handled, I don't feel like there's any better way to really explain Sabo not being there for Luffy, because if it would have went any other way, for instance, if Sabo would have remembered but not went to go answer Luffy or help out in the Whitebeard War, I don't know how I would have felt about Sabo after that. Let's really consider this, okay? If Sabo would have had his memories for the entire time and never contacted Luffy, and then he let that entire ordeal go down with Ace and never went to go help Luffy at all, then I think a lot of us might have some different opinions about Sabo. So I'm glad, even though Oda went the cliche route with the amnesia part, it's something I can respect, because it allows me to cherish Sabo's character even more and kind of feel sad for him and what he had to go through. Now, we also get to see what happened in the first time Luffy gets to realize Sabo is alive. For instance, he gets to see how Sabo walks up. He's like, hey, Luffy, I'm getting the Maramara fruit. And Luffy's like, who are you? And then, you have it where Sabo reveals himself. And then Luffy just freaks out and, hugs his brother. And so we get to see the first time they met in this arc. I'm glad that Oda went back to that and showed us how their meeting was for the first time and why Luffy was crying. I remember that scene where he was just crying while he was running, and Oda was teasing us of who the identity of that person was, but we all knew who that identity was, because it's very fucking obvious. But I remember that time when Oda was teasing us and we saw Luffy crying, we didn't get to see what really happened. So I'm glad he went back to that and showed that and kind of clarified that moment why Luffy was really just crying in tears of joy. Now, there's a couple things besides that we also get to see that I want to talk about. For one thing, Dragon. Dragon, it's kind of like he was over the water when he saved Sabo. And I really want to point this out. We've all debated many times about dragon's devil fruit ability. We've always said it's either wind or something to do with the weather. Like, you know, it can manipulate clouds and weather and shit and cause lightning and severe winds and things like that, because what we saw in the beginning of One Piece. But the way it looked in this chapter, it looked like he was floating. But we didn't really get good clarification through the panels, so we don't really know. It's not clarified, but it looked like Dragon was floating, and it makes a lot of sense. Like, the winds have changed, you know, the Revolutionary Army, it does make a lot of sense, but I don't know. It's not clarified. And there's another thing that happens at the end of the chapter that makes me question and scratch my head. I'm like, okay, so what did I just read? Now, I read manga stream translations. I want to clarify right now. I read manga stream translations. Surprisingly enough, manga stream translations came out first. Damn. I'm actually happy to see that. I don't have to read shitty translations. So, back on topic. We have it to where at the end of the chapter, crows come to pick up Sabo. And then they fly, and then you have it to where Sabo talks to one of the crows. One of the crows talks to Sabo, and Sabo's flying, and it's not Koala, it's not her, it's not, because she was talking on the phone with Hack, so I don't think she's the one doing that. So, what the fuck is the crows? Now, I don't even know what to think about that. I really don't. I don't know. It's not really clarified. It's really not. The way that was done, it's not really clarified. I could be missing something very fucking obvious. But if I am, please, let me know in the comments. Let me know right now, please. But, still, the crows talking to Sabo. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay. So, chapter overall of One Piece this week. Very good. I liked it quite a bit. I like getting to see some more clarification to Sabo's past and what really happened to him after, you know, everything happened in the past with him supposedly dying. I'm glad that was clarified. And also, One Piece is on break next week, so no One Piece. But Oda does this every so often. He always, you know, takes a break, like after every 4 or 5 chapters, he takes a break. So yeah, I mean, no One Piece chapter next week. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.